Hello everyone and welcome to Fale Português or Speak Portuguese. Well, my name is Rafaela Caillaux and today's video is to explain the natural learning method used by Fale Português. I developed this method based on the natural human learning process which was mapped by Dr. Rita Smilkstein and also my own experience with learning foreign languages. The first stage of the learning process is motivation, which means that we'll only learn the things that we want to learn. And if you want to learn Portuguese, that's a good sign. This means that you have reached already the first stage of the natural human learning process. If you want to know more about the 6 stages of the natural human learning process mapped by Dr. Rita, click in the link that I'm going to leave in the description so you can see a video where I explain those 6 stages of the process. Okay, but how does Fale Português method work? So, to answer this question, I'm going to start asking you another question. How did you learn to speak your mother language? How was this learning process for you? We know that a baby will only listen people talking around him for about a year before he being able to speak a few words. So by the end of the first year, the baby will have listened to a lot of content and he will be able to speak only simple words like mom and dad and things like that. So just a few words. And in the second year, he will risk himself to start making sentences. And by the end of the second year, he will probably be doing like simple sentences with 3 or 4 words and a vocabulary of about 50 words, which means it's like a controlled environment. So taking this reality into the Fale Português method, our first goal or our first secret is really to make you listen to a lot of content in Portuguese. But which kind of content? Well, we want you to listen to a content in Portuguese which is meaningful for you. So the first thing, remember, is to keep you motivated. So you need to listen to interesting things to keep your motivation high. So you need to find something that interests you and you work from there. You should listen to someone speaking Portuguese, but not in a slow pace or out of context, but really real situations. So that's the goal that we have for you. Okay, but you're probably asking yourself, how can I understand a video in Portuguese if I don't speak Portuguese? And that's a fair question. So I want to tell you about a story. So one day I was recording a video in Portuguese for Fale Português and my son got into the room and asked, Mom, how are people supposed to understand what you're saying if they don't know how to speak Portuguese? So I thought about it and I answered him with another question. And I asked him, Diogo, how did you learn English in Japan? And how did you learn French in France? Did anyone teach you in Portuguese? And then he was kind of satisfied with my answer and said, no, I just learned. So I think that's a very natural question because we are not confident that we are going to be able to actually learn something that we don't know from scratch. But the good news is that you were born to learn. And once you're in the good environment, you're going to accomplish it. So don't be afraid, just be motivated and we'll work from there. The thing is that most of the Portuguese courses are either in English or in Spanish, so you'll be listening to a lot of content in the language that you're already familiar with it, and you'll be listening only some words or a few phrases in Portuguese. So I'm not saying that this is not going to work, because that works, but it will take more time than if you listen to a lot of content in Portuguese. And then you can ask yourself, but Rafaela, I cannot understand anything that you're saying in the videos, which is also a fair question. So coming back to our baby comparison, so evaluating again how baby learns, although they take like at least 1 or 2 years to speak, studies shows that they will take about 6 months to start to understand the adults, what an adult is saying, which means that our brain will process things and understanding comes first, then speaking. Looking at my own children, we lived in France when Diogo was 5 years old and Bruno was 3 years old, and they went to school, to French public school, only knowing how to say bonjour, and also I taught them to ask to go to the bathroom because I thought that was a good survival tool. I have to tell you that in the first days, the boys were kind of a little terrified and also frustrated for not being able to communicate and to understand what others were saying. But in fact, after 2 or 3 weeks, I could see that they were already understanding many things because they were following the classes. And within about 2 months, I saw my son taking risks in a trial and error situation where he was speaking and making mistakes, obviously. So what I used to say is that whoever talks will make mistakes. Whoever make mistakes will learn from them. So that's part of the process. So first thing is that don't be afraid to make mistakes, because it's not a shame. That's part of the process. You cannot really learn anything without trying and making mistakes. Coming back to our second question, which is how can I understand a video 100% in Portuguese if I don't know Portuguese? Okay, so that's the subject of our next video, where I will review the second secret of Fale Português and how you should do to understand a video in a language that you don't speak yet. So keep posted. If you like this video, share with your friends, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!